basically, it comes down to win and you're in.
This is it. This is do or die. Season's on the line. You're going to be the only game on at the time. Everyone's watching. Man, I'm looking forward to that game for sure.
What is up, everyone? Welcome to the final episode of Ekeler's Edge for this season. I'm Loza, and this is, of course, Chargers running back, fantasy football superstar, and as I've learned over the course of the last 19 or so weeks, just an all-around amazing guy. Austin Ekeler.
Wow. I appreciate that, Liz, man. It's been great getting to know you as well. It has been a pleasure. I would like to call you my friend in the fantasy world and just in the media world. I think you've opened and actually taught me some things on how to, just be a better broadcaster and host. So I appreciate your time. And yeah, last show, let's get into it.
Well, we've got a great show for you to close out the season. We'll preview the Chargers' Sunday night showdown with the Raiders. A postseason berth will be on the line, so that's pretty exciting. Austin and I will share our fantasy New Year's resolutions. Austin led numerous fantasy teams to a title this season, and we'll hear from some grateful managers. And we'll look back at all of the incredible guests who have joined the show. Austin, your Chargers' 34-13 victory over the Broncos on Sunday put you guys back in the AFC playoff picture. It's not a simple picture, as they rarely are, but basically, it comes down to win and you're in. How's that sound?
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Hey, it's not the most ideal way to try to get into the playoffs, but to me, it's actually the most exciting. This is it. This is do or die. Season's on the line. You're going to be the only game on at the time. Everyone's watching. Man, I'm looking forward to that game for sure.
We'll talk about the matchup with the Raiders shortly, but to get to this point, you had to play out against the Broncos in your return from COVID, and you did. You cleared my fearless forecast by 20 yards, recording 112 scrimmage yards and a 3-yard score on the game's opening drive.
Yeah, I felt like your forecast was right around my average, right around there. And, sometimes I'm up, sometimes I'm below it. As I said, I was like, you know what, I need to get above that 100 mark, and we're able to get it done. Had a couple long passes that really helped out too. So, yeah, it was good to, finish strong for the Week 17 championships out there in fantasy.
Well, now let's look ahead to your showdown with the Raiders. It's the final game of the regular season. Way back in Week 4, you had 145 total yards and 2 scores in a 28-14 victory over Vegas. Do you think you and your team can repeat that performance?
I mean, I'd like to say yeah. But we all know that's not how the NFL works. You got to show up. It's a new game, new opportunity for both teams to prove that they have what it takes to win. But that's honestly what I like about it, right? It's not just we beat them before, we're going to beat them again. It's actually really hard to beat a team twice. So, yeah, it's going to be a battle, no doubt. Both of us are, hanging on to our season right here. What I'm looking forward to most is when we run out of the tunnel and it's all black and everyone is just booing as loud as they can. I'm like, yeah, let's go. That just gets me so juiced. Oh, I cannot wait.
That's awesome motivation.
Yeah, I love it.
It's a new year, and as is the tradition, Austin and I made a few fantasy resolutions that we thought we'd share with you. Austin, why don't you kick us off?
As far as some technical things, because I run some deep leagues, all my leagues are 20 people deep, actually looking into some legit backups. With 20 people deep, injuries are huge, right? And so even getting backups of people that are my starters, I think would be a good strategy. And also I want to get myself. That's number one. Try to get Austin off your team. Those are some of my things that I've learned. You and everybody else
trying to get you, though. For myself, I did go to the Super Bowl, the fantasy Super Bowl, with 2 of my teams, both 14-team leagues, and 1 team won and 1 team lost. And if I looked at the team that won, they were full of my favorite players that I write about, players that I hype. Anyone who knows my work knows that I'm invested in these players. I think they're talented. I think they're in great situations. I think they're good humans. Dak Prescott, Austin Ekeler, Najee Harris, Jamar Chase. You know how much I love Jamar Chase.
Yeah.
Michael Pittman. And so it felt so great, to your point, to root for all of these players throughout the season, and then to win with them was the cherry on top. The team that lost had some players that I definitely just filled in. I'm going to be honest. I had Antonio Brown on that squad. He probably lost me the ship. Well, I shouldn't have had him on the team, right? I want to draft and roster players that I am excited to cheer for every week and not feel sneaky about or conflicted about. So I think my resolution is to go get my guys, plant my flag, and believe in my ability as an analyst to guide this team and recognize players and trends throughout the season and win with players that I'm really excited about.
Yeah, I really love that. I honestly, like, man, that touches me because I'm like, then you're invested, right? You're invested more than just like, this is my fantasy team. Like, these are my guys out there. Like these, I'm watching them, every Sunday, like really rooting for them as just a person, right? And then it just really makes that connection so much stronger. And that's what I love about fantasy football.
Well, Austin, I appreciate you resolving to do something differently in 2022, but I don't think there's a whole lot you need to improve upon on the field. You are the RB2 on the season. And so with that being the case, we asked all those who won a fantasy championship with Austin Ekeler on their roster to send a thank you message. Here are a couple of our favorites. This first one is from Alec DC, and he tweeted, "Yo, Austin Ekeler, thanks for the outstanding season and helping me secure my first ever first place and most points scored. You've been my keeper since your second year. So we'll see you back again next year for a hopeful repeat."
Since my second year, that is some research right there. That's a lot of investment into my second year when I was still running down on punts.
Shea Castle tweeted, "Shout out to the king for leading my team all year long and taking me to the promised land. And for the Justin Jackson advice last week."
Let's go, man. Yeah, I see you rocking the jersey too. I appreciate that, man. Yeah, and that's why you come to the show. Get advice from Liz and I. Hey, we're going to help you out, just like we're trying to help everyone else.
All right, Austin, it's been an incredible first year of Ekeler's Edge, and we've had a ton of really wonderful guests. I mean, we've had current NFL superstars, Pro Football Hall of Famers, as well as several celebrities from the entertainment world who may just be the biggest fantasy fanatics of them all. We are very excited to say that we are now joined by Travis Kelce, Devontae Adams, Rainn Wilson, Justin Herbert,
Joel McHale,
Rob Gronkowski.
Welcome to Ekeler's Edge. Thanks for joining us.
Liz and Austin, I can't tell you how thrilled I am to be with you guys.
Right on. I appreciate you guys having me on. We might be on a few fantasy football teams together. You never
yeah, for sure. Probably thousands
in some households.
But I'm all about fantasy football. I think it's great for the league. I think it's great for the fans. I mean, I think it's just a great way to bring, people that love football and bring them together.
So, much to the chagrin of my wife, I'm in 12 leagues.
12.
It wasn't
12 leagues.
It didn't start out this way.
I don't think it's you're a fan anymore. I think there's a problem.
It's a hobby.
Oh, right.
My dad drafted me last year in his fantasy football league, and I think he actually got second in his league. To hear him and how excited he was about the whole thing, it was awesome.
That is awesome.
Rainn talks more trash than anyone.
Guilty. We have a good time now.
I used to play a lot of NFL Street with you, and I used to run everybody over and stiff arm everybody with you.
Hey, you know what? You make me feel so old, but I appreciate the fact that you chose to rock with 36.
That I have to ask you if Aaron Rodgers has offered you an ownership stake in the Chicago Bears yet.
He hasn't, and I haven't dove into that. I'm gonna leave that to him.
What's the name of your fantasy team?
These nuts.
Oh, great.
D''S, because name starts with D.
Yes.
I did KNUTZ, like DK, my initials. I'm one of the more PG rated names in our league, so I'll keep it just a name.
Wow.
Yeah.
It would probably be not even appropriate enough to even say my fantasy team name. I'm glad there was really no social media yet when I was a freshman in college.
Well, Joel, we've had a lot of great tight ends on this show.
Yeah, so you've had a lot of great tight ends, and I guarantee I am the worst.
I went to the math for you, man. I way overpaid. This is an auction league.
Overpaid?
Don't say that.
Man!
I think I'm in at least 12 leagues. And again,
12 leagues.
It shows. I got a lot of stinkers out there, Austin. I'm not going to lie to you.
12 leagues. That's a lot to manage. I have 3.
Plus, I have a real job. I mean, what are you doing all week? Let's be honest.
I'm trying to score you fantasy points.
Tom, do you have Austin on any of your teams? Any of these 12 teams?
None.
None.
None of my. That's why I'm losing, Austin.
I traded you.
Traded me.
Tense in here.
Oh my goodness. For sure. How many people do you have in your league?
I think we got 10 because I'm ranked 9.
Okay.
So
oh no. Oh no.
You gotta watch the show more often, Melvin. My goodness.
Oh no.
I'm making a run. I'm making a run.
I don't know if you figured out a way to get USAA insurance yet.
No. Yo, you want to know what's funny? Every game I go out the tunnel, a home game or away game, people are yelling at me, "You're special, Gronk. You're special. We all know you are."
Wow, what a season. That Dawson Knox, man, he gets me every time, I'll tell you.
Yeah, we had a lot of great guests. For me, I think the highlight of the season was really just the journey that we went on. Really set out to give some type of value back to the community when it comes to fantasy football and comes to engagement. And I really want to thank you because I think you've made that really easy for me and really helping me by being my co-host and kind of holding my hand through this whole process. And, looking forward to more to come.
Thank you, Austin. You have reinvigorated a lot of my passion and joy in not just the sport, but also in the day-to-day of it. So thank you for the connection, for the community. It's making it all worthwhile. And that's going to do it, not only for this week, but for the inaugural season of Ekeler's Edge.